Do you have a roadmap that I can try? 'Cause I think I just got lost.
The Google Places API provides a wealth of functionality for businesses that wish to include information about places such as establishments, locations, points of interest, photos, ratings, reviews, and much more into their applications. The Places API also provides a means for businesses to enable easier data entry into their applications by predicting what the user is searching for and saving the user time in entering those searches. Since the Google Places provides a wide range of functionality, the demos are broken down into individual demonstrations, which highlight the value of various features of the Google Places API. One of the most common uses of the Google Places API is to provide a user the ability to identify and discover places of a particular type in a specific geographic region. So for example, suppose you're on vacation in San Francisco and have just stepped off the subway in a foreign neighborhood. You're really hungry and you've heard that San Francisco offers some great Mexican food. How would you find Mexican restaurants near you? The Google Places API provides for the ability to execute nearby searches for nearby points of interest using a variety of keywords and places types. In this case, Mexican restaurants. The Places API can automatically return places matching my particular search near a given location, which can then be displayed on a map for a user to review. They can even be sorted by prominence, which is a ranking of the popularity of a place, or they can be sorted by distance. Now a user can quickly assess what places are around them and where they are. By clicking a place, we can also be provided with more information such as the address or ratings, the telephone number, even a link to the website, and much more. Using the Google Places API, we can provide quick access to Google's comprehensive database of local points of interest, and this means a much more robust, localized place searches for your end users. In some cases, a user may wish to understand the concentration of a particular type of place in a geographic region. So for example, if you're interested in buying a new home, you might want to see on a map the concentration of schools or grocery stores near that home. If you're going on a trip and you want to identify the best places to go shopping, you may want to see the concentration of stores on a map to identify what those shopping districts are. Radar search can really help us achieve this desired result. By choosing a particular place type, in this case we'll say clothing stores in Paris, we can immediately see a nice heat map which shows a concentration of clothing stores in Paris. And by looking at this map, we can quickly infer which areas are likely to be good for shopping and which are not. So in this case, these darker red regions are likely to be very good for shopping because they have a high concentration of clothing stores. These areas down here with no color at all are likely not to be great shopping districts because there's no clothing stores that have been identified. Using this functionality, users can include in their application the ability to identify patterns by leveraging Google's comprehensive database of places. And again, this provides for a much more engaging visualization of data and information to end users. The Google Places API also provides for the ability to accept very basic text searches. So in this case, a user can simply use free text queries to indicate what they're searching for and where they're searching for it. So for example, let's say we're in New York and we want to find pizza in New York. This is a much more natural search, and by using it we can be immediately presented with places which serve pizza in New York City. This can be used in any application or device which can accept text input. That input could even come from a keyboard or from something like voice recognition from an Android device or maybe from an iOS device. If a user does not provide any address or location component at all in their search, the Google Places API can be biased to constrain searches to whatever is within the current map view. So for example, searching for sushi without actually indicating New York will now return sushi restaurants in New York. This is because the Places API knows we are interested in New York because that is what we're currently looking at. This functionality provides for a much more flexible and powerful place search within a business's application, and it even mimics the experience that users are accustomed to from maps.google.com. In addition to text searches, the Google Places API also provides access to additional details about a place from Google Plus Local. So again, by clicking on a place, we can retrieve information about that place, such as the address, again, the rating, the telephone number. In this case, we've even got opening hours for this particular place. Below, we can even get three-dimensional reviews from Google Plus Local. These reviews have been left from other Google Plus users about this particular place and provides a really good three-dimensional look at the restaurant in terms of its food quality, its decor, and its service. This provides users with a very fantastic, in-depth look at a place of interest without the application owner having to go and collect this information and develop their own review and rating system themselves. In addition to retrieving details about a place, the Google Places API can also return photos of a particular place from Google Plus Local. So by doing a search for pizza in New York, we can instantly retrieve photos or retrieve any photos pertaining to that particular place and even plot them on the map as a marker. This provides for a very unique and creative way of displaying places on a map by using photos instead of markers. Using this method, users can even get a preview of a place without actually even having to click on it. If we want to see more photos for that place, we can simply click one and immediately be presented with up to 10 more photos of that place from Google Plus Local. This allows businesses to enrich their applications with photos of any point of interest without having to invest in actually collecting those photos themselves, providing the user with a much more rich experience. The Google Places API can also be used for more than just retrieving information about places. The Places API can also be used to include functionality of autocomplete, a technology which provides for type-ahead search behavior and prediction. Now, there are a multitude of use cases for this type of functionality. Here, we're going to use autocomplete to provide for the ability to include address verification in an application. By using autocomplete and restricting the type-ahead search to be limited to addresses, an application that requires addresses-based input can be sure that that text that's inputted by the user is indeed an address by suggesting addresses as they type. As the user types, addresses which match their particular search begin to appear. When the user finds the address that they're interested or they're intended on selecting, they simply select it. This helps to reduce errors in address entry by forcing the user to select a real-world address. If we entered a fake address, we see that no suggestions are provided. This ensures that the address that's entered by the user is not a valid or real address. Incorporating this functionality into both your internal applications and your external-facing applications helps to reduce data entry errors, and it saves your end users time by reducing the effort involved in address entry. Autocomplete also provides for the ability to include maps.google.com type search functionality in your own applications. This includes type-ahead predictive search for not only addresses, but also points of interest or businesses and a lot more. So for example, if I'm interested in knowing where the Sheraton Hotel is in Toronto, I can simply start typing Sheraton Centre, Toronto, and autocomplete will automatically predict what hotel I'm interested in, exactly like maps.google.com. This same functionality will work for landmarks, so for example, the CN Tower, and addresses. Providing this functionality in your own applications provides a comfortable, powerful experience that your end users are accustomed to, and it will ensure that they keep coming back to your applications. Most recently, Google Places has expanded to provide content on places from Zagat. This includes very rich editorial reviews of points of interest and more in-depth ratings, and even a Zagat filter for searching on Zagat selected businesses. The place summaries provided by Zagat are curated expert reviews and ratings and are based on user feedback. They provide information about a location's key attributes, including the decor, the quality, and the service. In this example, using the Places API, a search for restaurants will return 20 restaurants in the current view. Clicking a particular restaurant returns the Zagat rating and the scores rating the restaurant on the food, decor, and the service, and it even returns the Zagat review. Zagat with Google Places provides users with a significant level of incredibly valuable information about this particular place. This sort of functionality can benefit tourism-based applications or maybe even automotive applications, which provide users details about places as they drive by them. This concludes the overview of the Google Places API functionality. As was demonstrated through these demos and use cases, the Google Places API provides a wealth of information about points of interest and places that can be leveraged and incorporated into your own applications, providing your end users with a beautiful, fun, and powerful experience. Thank you.
Break down the awkwardness, put on my boots and a lily white dress.